This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Aloha. Welcome to our presentation on Hawaii. The islands are now open to travelers. Before we get started, you can win a $50 Travel Central gift card. Just put your answer to the question on the screen in the chat feature. When we get to slide number 17, Maui, and that's a hint, we'll give you the winner. As we explore the islands, please use the chat feature to ask questions. All questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. We ask everyone to please mute if you're not on mute, and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining Travel Central on a presentation on Hawaii. And again, the islands are now open to visitors. Now let's get started with the presentation and escape to Hawaii. Presenting today will be Kyle of Classic Vacations, one of Travel Central's top and most trusted travel partners, and I'm Melinda Bourgeois, owner of Travel Central. Travel Central has been in business in the New Orleans area for 32 years. We are a team of highly qualified and trained travel advisors whose only goal is to provide you with a seamless, stress-free vacation that from the planning process to your return home. And now, Kyle, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Melinda, and thank you all for joining me and joining us today. I love to hear you say that Hawaii is open, because that's a great thing for all of us. And I know the Hawaiian people have missed all of us visiting, and I know I'm ready to get there as soon as possible. So today is just kind of a walkthrough of just a little history of Hawaii, some fun facts, what to expect when you do go to Hawaii, and kind of helping you narrow down which islands or island that you would like to visit. Hawaii has so much to offer, and it is the most isolated landmass in the world. And as you can see, just kind of some fun little facts there on the location of it. The time zone is the biggest thing that I wanted to highlight here. So yes, when you're traveling from the continental U.S. out there to Hawaii and the islands, you will have about a day and a half of jet lag that you'll experience, because they're about 4 hours behind on Central Time, 5 hours on Eastern. So that does, especially at the first night, I think is when you kind of experience that a little bit. You're wide awake at 2-3 a.m. You're ready to go. But I do have some things that can kind of combat that as we talk forward. Getting there is easy, and actually, guys, with this pandemic and everything that's happened this year, it's actually getting easier. We're getting more lift. I know Florida has gotten more lift directly now to Hawaii. You can go out of Hawaii. You can go out of, obviously, the west coast of the U.S. And then so there's just so many different more gateways that are opening up to direct flights into Hawaii. So if you don't want to, have a layover or stop and go through another airport, you're getting more of those options, and so that's more frequent. And when you're working with your agent, you'll be able to kind of say, here, what are my options? What am I looking at? So just know that it's easy to get there. From the West Coast, it's your LA's, San Francisco's. It's about another 4.5, 5 hours, but it's so worth it once you get out to Hawaii to experience all that she has to offer. And then also, once you're over there, the islands are allowing guests to do inter-island, except for one island right now. That'll change probably after the new year and things come out, especially with the vaccine. But you're able to just hop around from island to island, 30-minute flights, very easy to get to. And you can also do that from ferry or by the air. So you have lots of options when you're over there as well, going to inter-islands. Getting around, my favorite thing that I like to do on most of the islands is to rent a car. So we offer rental cars. I think it's a must in Hawaii. It really just enhances your experience. And it also gives you the freedom to explore. You may want to try different restaurants, or you may want to go do some hiking and things like that. So definitely look into getting a rental car, and your agents can do that. We have a great promotion right now, which I'll talk about at the end, for a triple upgrade as well. Why Hawaii? Obviously you guys are here. You're interested in going to Hawaii. If you've been before, you want to go back or try a different island. Hawaiians are very proud of their culture. I think the people is the number one reason why people like to go. It's beautiful, obviously, the beaches, the activities, but the heritage and the locals, they want to share that with the visitors. Many hotels, what I love about it, they all have a cultural ambassador. And they offer programs to help you experience that culture. So whether you want to learn how to do traditional weaving or jewelry making, learn how to hula, because again, you're going to hula in Hawaii. So hopefully you are ready to dance a little bit. But just some fun facts on Hawaii itself. It's a chain of 137 islands. Obviously, I'm not going to be talking about all 137. I'm going to be talking about maybe 4 or 5 of the main ones. The alphabet in Hawaii only has 12 letters. And the vowels, if you want to learn that as you go, a, e, o, u. So again, that's something to practice. If you guys are out hiking, I love this feature about Hawaii. There's no snakes, guys. You don't have to worry about those the snakes out there because there are none in Hawaii. There's also no billboards. You're driving along, you want to see those volcanoes, those mountainous views. There's nothing going to be obstructing those views. So no billboards, which we have plenty here in the States, in the continental states. And then also Hawaii became a state in 1959. So it's the last state to join the United States. And so again, not that long ago, if you think about it. Why Hawaii? Other than the people, the culture, it's the food, guys. If you're big foodies, the fresh fish that you can experience, the poi, which is kind of a paste, and they have it with almost every dish. You got to try it. Not a huge fan of it, but you're there, when in Rome, you got to try it. Fresh tropical fruits. One big experience that they love over there is farm to table. So if you like that fresh cuisine where they dig it right out of the garden and prepare it for you, that's a huge concept there. Also, you have a large mix of Asian cultural influences. So you got your sushi, your poke, but you also have other options. You have Italian, American, pretty much anything that you want, you can find it. And then also, don't be afraid to try the food trucks. Some of the best food, I think, in Hawaii, as at some of the food trucks for lunch when you're on the beach. So definitely check those out when you're out driving around and exploring. The Aloha State, Hawaii, when to go. When should you go to Hawaii? And I'll tell you what, guys, any time is good to go. If you look at the temperatures, average year round, it's going to be upper to mid 80s, so it's perfect. It's just kind of depending on what you like to do. Do you want to go during whale watching season? Then that's December through March. The value seasons where you can kind of get a good price point is May, September, and then right now early December, right before kind of the holidays. As you get into festive season and holidays, the prices do go up a little bit, but something to keep in mind. But the state of Hawaii, again, it's safe. It's U.S. currency, English speaking, easy to get around. It's great for all traveler types, little kids, older kids, however you guys want to look at it. And there's all kinds of different multiple accommodation options for you. And then one fun fact, it is in the States, so there are no all-inclusive resorts. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Where should you visit? These are the islands I'm going to focus on today, and just kind of focusing on what they all bring, their characteristics, and also their activities. Before COVID and all that hit, you can look at multiple islands. 2 or 3, I would say, is a great trip to Hawaii. There are some restrictions on hopping from island to island right now. Usually, you just have to have a 72-hour negative test prior to going to Hawaii. And then once you're there, if you want to hop over to the island, you just take a test right there on the islands you're at. So again, it's very easy. You have a car, so you can just drive real quick and get that done. But if you have time, Oahu is often the easiest to reach, which I'll talk about. Maui is the garden island, and I'll get into their characteristics as we go. And I'm going to start with Oahu. Oahu is just an amazing island. It's the 3rd largest island of Hawaii, but it's also the most visited. And I'll tell you the number one reason is Pearl Harbor. This is where your military command center is, right there on the Pacific. And it's still an active military base, so something to keep in mind. You go out there, you do the tour, you see the Arizona and the Missouri, and kind of see those vessels and just hear about what happened on that day. Just has a lot to different offer. The resort areas, you have three different main ones. You have Honolulu, which is kind of your city area, North Shore if you're into surfing, and then of course your Ko'olina, kind of some good golf, kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but just a great area as well. Koala Ranch is probably one of my favorite tours to do in Oahu, aside from obviously Pearl Harbor. Koala Ranch is a great way for you to kind of go out. You can see the ranch by ATVs. You can go by horseback. You can actually go by those Jeeps that you see in Jurassic Park. And with that being mentioned, Jurassic Park was filmed here. So that's the kind of scenery that you're going to be driving and exploring. And they actually have different signs in which movies were filmed where, and you'll probably remember the scenes that you see, and they kind of highlight that on the tour. So beautiful ranch in Hawaii. And then of course the North Shore, as I mentioned, this is a great way if you guys are surfing, or if you're brave and you want to try to surf, you definitely want to go to the North Shore. Some of the best, it attracts a lot of the best surfers in the world. So the surfing here is phenomenal, but again, you can do a beginner level or you can do expert, whatever you kind of want to do, which is amazing up there. And then of course you have Honolulu Waikiki area. As you can see on that bottom picture, your big city, not really a big city, but it's got the vibrant nightlife, the good restaurant scene. They do movies in the park. They do a lot of different filming in Honolulu as well. That's a good picture of it right there, as you can see on your current slide at the top left during the day. Beautiful beach there in Honolulu, which is kind of unique right there in the main city. You got your beautiful beach, a lot of good dining options. As I mentioned, it's full of nightlife. If you want to kind of go out for a night out in Hawaii, definitely take a look at a lot of the hotel options in Honolulu and Waikiki. Then of course you have the Missouri vessel that you can tour. And honestly, I've never, looking at that picture of the turtle, and I've been about 6 times to Hawaii, went snorkeling or diving, and have not swam with the sea turtle. So although I can't guarantee it, I've never been without seeing them or without swimming with them. So just one of the main cool features that Hawaii has to offer as far as the water life. And then of course you can see here you have Diamond Head. Is an actual it's a volcanic cone, which is right outside of Honolulu. What a great way to kind of start your morning one day, and especially maybe it's that first morning you get there, you're wide awake at 3 a.m., you're ready to go and do something because of the time change. Go ahead and hike Diamond Head. It's about an hour and a half to hike to the top. It is a state park. It's 3 hours if you want to drive it. I'm sorry, $3 if you want to drive it, and then just $1 if you want to hike it. So again, very easy to go that, but the views of Honolulu, Waikiki are amazing. The cultural center up there on the top right, that's the #1 attraction in Oahu. It's basically 42 acres, 43 acres or so that you can go and explore. They have ambassadors from all the islands that are in there, and it's just a great way to kind of share the culture with the Hawaiian people, learn their heritage, learn about the islands, how they became the islands. And then it ends with a really nice evening show and dinner, and then a luau. So it's a full day activity, but highly recommend. And then that bottom picture there, of course, you have Pearl Harbor, which such a sombering experience, but it's a must do when you're in Oahu. Now we're going to hop over to Hawaii, and Melinda, I don't know if this is where you're going to do, I think you had a quiz or a little question there at the beginning.
Thank you, Kyle. Yes, I am. So we had the question at the very beginning. We had some pictures of sorry, I didn't mean to back up. We had some pictures of waterfalls, and we had some pictures of a sand beach and some other neat things. And so the question was, what is the name of the famous road? And it actually is in Maui, and the famous road is, it's called the Road to Hana. So I see we have several people who have answered the question correctly. So what I'm going to ask is I'm going to go ahead and let everyone who answered the question Road to Hana, if they would just message Melinda in the thing and your email address or your address, and we'll get you a $50 Travel Central gift certificate, good for a vacation. So with that, we're back on to Maui. Thank you, Kyle. And
Nice.
someone did ask about the recording. We are recording this, and we
Mhm.
will be sent by email to everyone who is registered for this event. And then again, if you want to ask any questions, please put it in the chat feature, and we'll make sure to send that to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Melinda, and congratulations, guys. Road to Hana is probably by far my favorite thing to do in all of Hawaii, and so we'll talk a little bit about that as we head to my favorite island, Maui. I love Maui. It just has a laid back feel, but it has so much to offer as well. The beaches, it's just the little info on the island itself. It's the second largest Hawaiian island. It's about 727 square miles. It's a half-hour flight from Honolulu. So if you start in Oahu and you want to go to Maui and kind of mix the two islands from nightlife to kind of laid back, again, 30-minute nonstop flight, easy to get to. It's got the largest dormant volcano crater in the world, which I will show you here shortly. But again, a lot of different things to do. It's active if you like to hike, like to get out and do some water activities. But it's got a feel of luxury too. It's kind of I like to call it barefoot luxury, where you can just kind of lay back, be yourself, but you have so much to do, so many different options that are diverse. And the road to Hana, yes. So real quickly, I'm just going to kind of walk you through this, but this is a full day, guys, and this is where renting a car comes into play, and our promotion that we're offering you guys is a triple upgrade. So I love to do the road to Hana in a convertible or a Jeep, because literally it's this road that kind of takes you throughout Hawaii, and there's no agenda. So anytime that you see cars stopped on this road, get out, pull over, and see what they're looking at. A lot of times it's waterfalls like you see here, or maybe a beautiful hike to a kind of a hidden waterfall. There's black sand beaches, green sand beaches. There's just so much to do, and it's just a great way to kind of, hey, pull over, no agenda. Let's see what we can get into today. But it's a beautiful ride. It is very curvy. There's lots of bends, the breathtaking scenery, and if you're really brave, you can actually do a full circle where it takes you to a winery, and that's kind of where you end the day. You can watch the sunset from this winery. And again, so just kind of, I will tell you kind of an insider tip. There's a gas station right before you start the road to Hana. They sell a CD, pop that into your CD player, and it really kind of tells you what's at each mile marker. So they may say, mile marker 3, you make sure you get out. There's a black sand beach. So you can do that, or you can go with no agenda, which I like too, and just kind of see. There's a little fish market along the way where you can get the best fish tacos in the world, I think. So just a great way to kind of go explore, have no agenda, and kind of see what the day brings. Now the sunrise over at Haleakala, this is that big crater which I talked about, and this actually forms about 75% of the entire island of Maui. So yes, pretty big. It's known as the House of Sun, and what this is, guys, you want to leave your hotel probably 2:33 a.m. A great way to kind of spend your first day if you go to Maui first, because again, you're wide awake because of the time change. So start your day with Haleakala. You go up on a bus. They drop you off. Now, I will tell you, it is below freezing at the very top, so pack lots of layers. They'll give you a big jacket that you can wear. And then after seeing that amazing sunrise come up, you're above the clouds, you're above the crater, the volcano. It's just something that I get wowed every time I see it. But definitely do this. And then you can actually take the bus back down to the ground, or they can provide bikes, and you can do a 23-mile bike ride down. So again, you start shedding those layers off as you get closer to the ground. But just a great way to kind of start the day. Go back to your hotel. They're already serving breakfast, and then take a great nap on the beach is what I recommend, or by the pool. But if you guys are into golf, Maui has amazing golf courses that has some breathtaking views, as you can see. The Plantation course, which actually hosts one of the PGA Tour, the Century Tournament of Champions on the PGA event, Tour. So again, you can play that. Great golf all throughout the island of Maui. Trilogy Tours is something I highly recommend too. That's where you get on that catamaran boat. You take it over to one of the sister islands of Maui, Lanai, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But they serve amazing breakfast on the catamaran, take you over where you can snorkel. They do an authentic Hawaiian beach barbecue on the beach, and then you cruise back to Maui, and you're there by 3 or 4 o'clock to go back to your hotel and kind of get ready for dinner. Honolua Bay, one of my favorite spots to snorkel. It's very calm. You actually hike down. So the parking lot is on that top left picture. That's kind of the view from the parking lot. And then you hike down through this lush tropical forest where you can go down and then snorkel. And again, I've been on I've been blessed to be able to go on a lot of snorkeling trips throughout my life. But I'll tell you, this is still my number one spot. The sea life, the turtles, the tropical fish, the clarity of the water. It never disappoints. And I highly recommend that going up to Honolulu Bay there in Maui. And then Lahaina, one of my favorite places to kind of go out and do some shopping, which my wife does, and I just kind of hang out. But where we go out to dinner, just a great place to kind of go relax. You can sit under this banyan tree, which was actually planted in 1873. So it's about 147 years old. So it's just a unique tree that you can sit under. They do a lot of acoustic shows where they play the guitar. There's music. You can have a cocktail, have your ice cream under that tree. But basically, it's a little cute little seaside town where you have the shopping, oceanside dining, very casual to kind of formal experiences, and then you have those amazing mountain views behind you at Maui. And then if you remember the trilogy tour that I talked about going over to Lanai, this is where you would pick that up in the town of Lahaina. So once you come back to Lanai, this is where you're going to be dropped off, and that's a great way to kind of, if you want to stay there for dinner or go to your hotel and come back, that's a great way to kind of end the day. Now over to Lanai, this is the little sister island. It's formerly known as the Pineapple Island, and again, this is, if you guys just want to escape, find a secluded island where you're not going to see many people, this is where you want to go. So it's Hawaii's only private island, which is actually, it was recently, I think, purchased at the end of 2019 by the CEO of Oracle. So if you guys did come on here hoping to purchase an island, I'm sorry, it just sold at the end of last year. So hate to be the bearer of bad news there. But again, I love Lanai because you come over here to kind of get away. It's peaceful, it's untouched, it's tranquil. It's just very, very beautiful to kind of see how you can escape over to this island. And then looking at Lanai itself, it offers 400 miles of four-wheel trail. So when you come over to Lanai, get a four-wheeler, go explore. It only has about 30 miles of paved road itself. So there's some great golf over here. There's some horseback riding, ATV safaris, as I mentioned, and then, of course, the golfing is popular. And then over to Kauai, and I look at this as almost a smaller Maui, kind of untouched as well. It's the fourth largest Hawaiian island. Only actually 70% of the island itself is inaccessible by foot. So what does that mean? Amazing helicopter tours here. As you can see on that left picture, I mean, just to kind of, depending on your helicopter guide or how comfortable you guys are too, and they'll ask you, and you can tell them, you'll dip us down in there, let us get down in those craters and kind of see it. So it's just an amazing experience to kind of go around. You can actually go to Mount Waialea, which is actually the wettest spot on Earth with it's about 430, averages about 430 inches of rainfall a year. But it's just lush. It's the vegetation, the waterfalls, the hiking. It's just got a lot to offer. It's actually called the Garden Isle. So you can go here. Kauai Beach is a highly rated beach in the world. You can go tubing. So if you want those, tubing and canoeing on these beautiful rivers where it takes you to this kind of hidden waterfalls, you can do that here. Horseback riding. I mean, there's so many things to do to kind of get out, become one with nature. If you are interested in doing some deep sea fishing, the Nepali coast is a huge attraction for that. Highly recommend it. And then, I mean, this is your view for the day as you're out there just floating on a boat fishing. So, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. And then what I like too about it is a lot of these times these boat charters will take you out and you keep what you catch, you bring it back to your hotel and have the chef cook it up for you that night. So just a lot of different options that you can do as far as that. And then Uluwahi is a secret waterfall kind of, so you can you do a lot of kayaking trip. You can go up these rivers, or you can hike it if you'd like. And then you have this beautiful little waterfall, and that's just a little portion of it. There's a bigger portion where you can actually jump in, swim, get under the waterfall, and then you can finish it by zip lining back down through the jungles and the canyons that kind of Kauai has become known for. So just an amazing experience. I love Kauai. Think of it as a little Maui, kind of a little bit more off the beaten path, not as busier. And again, 70% of the island you cannot even get through on foot. So which makes it unique and cool to kind of go out and explore. Now on to the Big Island, and this is our final island in which we'll be highlighting today. It's the youngest and the largest, obviously. That's where it gets its name. So it's called the Big Island of Hawaii. Now it's actually called the Island of Hawaii. It's actually 2 times bigger than any other island of the chain of Hawaii. So it's got about 196,000 population, and a lot of people are spread out throughout this island. So if you think triathlon in Hawaii, Kona coffee, amazing beaches, the volcanoes here are breathtaking. But one of my favorite things to do in Papakolea, which is the south point of the Big Island, is you just take your car down there. It's about an hour and a half drive. You park at these cliffs, that middle bottom picture there, and it's safe to jump off these cliffs, guys. It's amazing. The water's clear, and there's always going to be a crowd there just kind of jumping off, just hanging out. And definitely do that. There's a ladder that kind of gets you up off those rocks. It's very easy to do. And then from there, you just park your car, you hike throughout the dunes, and it takes you to this green sand beach. This green sand beach is very swimmable. It's beautiful. Take a picnic if you want, but just a fun day to kind of go out. It is it's almost I think a 2.5 mile hike to the green sand beach, but worth it. I mean, stop along the way, take pictures. It's beautiful. But the nice thing about the locals, and this kind of just sums up the Hawaii culture of people, they'll drive their cars, they'll hang out there at the green sand beach, and they'll offer to bring you back so you don't have to hike back. So think of it as a one-way hike. I usually throw the driver $10 and say, thanks for the ride. You are driving through dunes, so that kind of adds to the experience. It's fun. But just, again, another good way to do that, and of course meet some local Hawaiians as well. As I mentioned, they're very proud of their heritage and they want to share it with you. The volcanoes, as you guys know, the Big Island was hurt with the eruption of one of the volcanoes, I think in late 2018. So you have 7 volcanoes on the island of Hawaii. Take a helicopter ride. I urge you to do that. Recommend it. You can do hiking tours, you can do boat tours, or you can view it by helicopter. So different ways in which you can see these beautiful volcanoes. Of course, they're all going to be marked safe before they even let you in. So they monitor that, and they're part of the state parks there as well. The helicopters, as I mentioned, you can do a Mauna Kea observatory, which kind of gives you a really good view of one of the sides of the Hawaiian Islands, and then also the farmers market. This is definitely a great way to kind of go and see and even purchase some of the local cuisines, local spices, local seasonings, and things that some of the Hawaiian culture has to offer. Now, probably my favorite thing to do on the Big Islands, I will say, is I like coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker as well, definitely go to the coffee farms. They do some amazing tours. It's educational. It walks you through the process of making from the beans to the whole process. And then, of course, lots of tastings. And then, of course, you got to come home with some Kona coffee. But my favorite thing to do over by one of the hotels that we sell is the Manacada Hotel. After dinner, late at night, we take you out and they have boats, or you can actually go on your own stand-up paddleboard, which is nice. So if you're a little bit more brave and you want to actually get in the water and swim with the gentle giants, you can actually swim with manta rays at night. It's just an awesome experience. And I say that with all honesty. They're gentle giants. They don't care about you, because the unique thing about that is the lights under the boat and the stand-up paddleboard attracts plankton. The gentle giants, the manta rays, they eat the plankton, and that's what they feed off of. And so that just brings them close to you, and they just swim on by. Just an awesome. If you've never swam with a manta ray or seen one up close, you're just kind of out in the open, floating with some other people. It's just a great way to kind of end a day in Hawaii. And then, of course, also you have the black sand beaches, which the Big Island is known for because of all that volcanic rock. Turns a lot of their beaches black, which is pretty cool. So a lot of different experiences on the Big Island itself. And then our promotion that we're offering you guys, now or later, whether you want to book, you have until the end of January. So January 31st is kind of the booking window. But this is a great way for you to kind of lock in some great rates. So we've been working with our hotel partners. We're working with the agents there at Travel Central, so they'll be able to walk you through this and tell you which hotel is offering what based on your dates. We're also including a triple upgrade, so highly recommend getting a Jeep or a convertible to kind of go and explore the Hawaiian Islands. But a lot of these features include breakfast daily, which is nice when you're staying. So if you kind of want that all-inclusive concept, this is a great way to do it as far as your breakfast daily. I like to eat property, lunch and sometimes dinner off the property, so you can really experience that local cuisine as well. So just a lot of different great promotions. Talk to your travel agents at Travel Central, and they'll be able to kind of walk you through that. So a lot of information I threw at you, talking fast, but again, Hawaii has so much to offer. I think you guys saw that, depending on what you are looking for and your experience. And again, it's just really about matching up what you're looking for, and I know Hawaii can offer anything that you need. So appreciate you guys hopping on here. Thank you for supporting Travel Central. They're one of our great partners. And again, we work together to kind of customize what you're looking for to make sure that you guys are taken care of while you're in travel. So thank you guys again. I know we're getting back to closer to normal. So again, it's good to see Hawaii open. We've seen a lot of travelers going there now, so they're taking their precautions and safety precautions, and everything's been smooth sailing since they opened in September. So appreciate the time you guys are here, and of course, if you have any questions, I will turn it back over to Melinda.
Thank you. And I'm reading the chat box to see if there's any questions. The one question was about the recording. We will be sending the recording out. Kyle was talking about booking, and if you want to book, I can tell you this, everybody in 2020 did not go on travel. So 21 is becoming very popular, as well as it's going to be a little less travel and less availability, especially with the cruise lines. So I definitely would not wait if you think you want to travel. And the greatest news that we just recently received from the airlines is that they're no longer charging change fees for airline tickets. So if something you needed to change, not the airlines, they would actually allow you to change it for free. So that is a great news story. We do virtual experiences every other week, and we do them just to share some of the opportunities there are to travel. So these are the upcoming ones, but I'll include those in the email with the recording. And thank you. We hope you enjoyed and have a great day.
Thank you, Melinda.